Rising Puerto Rican star and knockout artist Edgar Berlanga, 16-0, 16 deadly knockouts, reviews Canelo's opponent and Canelo's performance against Avni Average Pilgrim Yildirim, and he says Canelo fought a punching bag. Wow. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, y'all know what to do. Hit the bell icon. Let's jump right into it. Again, knockout artist, Puerto Rican Edgar Berlanga, rising star, signed with Top Rank, repping Brooklyn, New York. I guess he was one of the interested spectators in the same division that Canelo just fought. Canelo fought on DAZN against Avni Yildirim. The fight was abysmal. Canelo looked like Canelo, great fighter. You've seen the hand speed, good uppercuts, but it was Avni Yildirim who laid an egg. Like, he did virtually next to nothing. People in the comment section were saying that he showed up just for a paycheck, and Berlanga must have watched it or checked it out, and this is his reply to it. It says, Canelo fought a punching bag. I'll stop Yildirim in one round. It says, look, J Balvin, I hope you're on the right side. So I guess maybe he knows J Balvin, who walked out Canelo. He said, Mira, J Balvin, I hope you're on the right side. And he put the Puerto Rican flag. So I don't know exactly what that's about. Like I said, J Balvin, he walked out Canelo. So I think that's maybe someone who's maybe a mutual friend of both. And he's saying if that time comes or when I fight Canelo, hope you're picking the right side. But you're always going to be judged by your peers. And one of his peers is saying that Canelo fought a punching bag and he would do the same job, but actually around quicker and just stop him. Now, the way Avni Yildirim looked, like, I can't really say that he's wrong. Berlanga, he fought KO Bellows. I think that's probably the best name on his resume at the point. But he definitely has heavy hands, and he stopped 16 out of 16 people. And, the way Avni Yildirim looks is very hard to have put him in there with any top guy that's a puncher like Berlanga or David Benavidez and have him survive, because he was just getting hit. He wasn't responding well to getting punched. He had no defense. Like, listen, I don't want to go savage because he literally did nothing. Like, it was next to nothing, like I said earlier. So I can't even really break down his performance without tearing down everything he did. Round one, you had Avni Yildirim, who he wasn't offensive at all. So I thought at first, okay, like me, I'm a real boxing fan. So when I'm watching boxing, I know it's a sweet science, and sometimes you got to let it unfold. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's trying to feel Canelo out, see what Canelo's game plan is, drag him to deep waters, things like that. But nope. Round two, Canelo opened up, and it was the Canelo show. And then he basically quit on the stool. Fight was over. So very lackluster ending. Oh, that's tight, with a picture of him and Wheezy. Berlanga himself has called out Canelo. He says that's a fight that he would be trying to get. That would be a big fight in the future. You have a Puerto Rican up-and-coming star, young, and then you have Canelo, who hails from Mexico, who's a little bit older, but was, that same star coming up through the ranks and, making a name. Mexico versus Puerto Rico historically has given us great fights, right? You see Felix Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya. That's one that comes to mind, things like that. So, yeah, I definitely think it's a fight that they could build. But you know what the crazy thing is this? Just with Berlanga's power, he's always going to be in a fight, Canelo, the only way when you're dealing with a puncher like that, you just got to neutralize the power. But guys like that will always be dangerous as long as you have them in the ring, as long as they have heart and they're throwing punches. So, it's just funny when it comes to Canelo. You have a lot of fans. See, he called him out. This is from July of last year. Mad respect for Canelo, best fighter in the world at the moment, but I'll be ready for him in 18 months. So he gave himself 18 months. Listen, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, there's a lot of people who say this guy or this guy is no match for Canelo, but those better fights don't seem to be happening. The Jamal Charlos, right? The David Benavidez, Better Bivol, Caleb Plant. He just announced that he's fighting Saunders, which Saunders has very limited power at 160, and he just recently moved up to 168 and got a title against a no-namer, and he's very inconsistent. So, you know, I'll really be more interested in Canelo's fights when he starts fighting just anybody with like anybody who has like even a Berlanga. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but would Berlanga with this type of power, would he be any worse than Avni Yildirim? Like, you have to really ask yourself that question. Avni Yildirim just put his guard up and was getting pummeled. No defense. Head movement was absent. Head was on the center. At least certain guys have power. Now, I've seen people in the comment section they were getting angry at Berlanga, saying that he got dropped by Lubin. I mean, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto, so you could do that all day. We ultimately don't know until they fight, but I have full faith that guys at 168 could provide Canelo better challenges than guys like Yildirim's and the Rocky Fielding. And that's 2 of his fights in this weight class. So his only meaningful fight at 168 has really been Caleb Smith. And then Billy Joe Saunders, he's a career 160 pounder, and he really hasn't done much at 168, even though he's a champion, has a title. See, the people that know boxing, they understand the politics and understand how this game works. So yeah, Billy Joe Saunders, it's a unification and things like that. But my question to you is, who did Billy Joe Saunders fight in the division that you respect? I'll wait. So as far as Berlanga, he got his next fight coming up. I just want to see how this all plays out. He says that Canelo fought a punching bag. Let me know if you agree or you disagree. But Canelo's being judged by his peers. This was a fight that, you know, we knew it was not going to be received well, period. I also seen people in comment sections, they were saying, oh, but Edgar Berlanga hasn't fought anyone. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, that's a moot point. Like, at the end of the day, he's 22, 23, Canelo's 30. Canelo's the face of boxing. He can pick fights. He can go after he has a position of leverage and stuff like that. He just became a free agent. So, I mean, you can't even really make the same comparison to what this fighter or that fighter can or can't do. You know, Canelo's in a whole different stratosphere as far as that's concerned. Like I said, he just freed himself up from Golden Boy, so he's a free agent. Berlanga's with Top Rank. It's not, he can't, I'm sure it's more of a team decision. Canelo can kind of pull some strings to make bigger fights happen as the A side. You know what I mean? So that's not even a synonymous comparison. Either way, that's what Berlanga had to say. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Did you like the fight with Canelo Yildirim? What did you take away? For me, it's everything I thought it was going to be. A horrible fight, and at the end of the day, there was no surprises. You got one guy who's fighting and got skill, and the other guy shells up and looks starstruck and quit. You know, there's not too much else to say. So it didn't really tell me anything about Canelo, unfortunately. We already knew Canelo was a good fighter. We knew he had skills. He showed you that in his last fight before that with Caleb Smith. Now, if DAZN marketing team and DAZN leadership was actually smart, what they would have did is take my advice that I gave, where since Canelo, last year was the pandemic year, and Canelo was coming off a long layoff, you know, or a decent layoff with the pandemic, because he was also dealing with lawsuits with Golden Boy and DAZN and stuff like that. What they really should have done is, he was already talking about fighting Avni Yildirim. He asked for permission to fight Avni Yildirim, and the WBC voted 36-1 and granted him permission to fight Yildirim. That would have been more believable, to fight him first, and then it was a pandemic year, so people would have just chalked it up like, okay, he's on a layoff, you know, it's a mandatory, and he's coming back, or it's a ranked guy or whatever. They could have just fought for the WBC vacant belt, and then he would have fought him first. But Canelo and DAZN, they did it the worst way you possibly could, because they took a guy who was 7 inches taller, who was somewhat respected champion at 168, who at least looked the part. He was known as a puncher, and he looked way bigger than Canelo, and they fought him first, and Canelo beat the shit out of him. So if we just watched that in December, who is going to believe that Yildirim had any sort of chance when a more respected champion and a guy with the 7-inch height advantage who won the World Boxing Super Series like Caleb Smith got dog walked by him? Then you knew the Avni Yildirim fight, he stood no chance, because he was coming off a loss, a lengthy 2-year layoff, things like that. So he was inactive. So that was very foolish. They should have just fought Yildirim as the comeback mandatory tune-up fight, and then it would have gave Caleb Smith, instead of the reported 4-week training camp that he had for Canelo, because it was last minute because he had just become a free agent, then they would have gave Caleb Smith proper time to train. Maybe he could have had a better effort, and then at least it would have been more believable, but they didn't do it like that. So hard to disagree with what Berlanga is saying. His opponent, simply put, didn't show up. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TUBEBUDDY. I've used TUBEBUDDY for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TUBEBUDDY is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TUBEBUDDY and level up your channel faster. We working. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, "Hi, I'm Mike Tyson, come and watch my fight." Floyd Mayweather, "Easy work, I'm rich." And Manny Pacquiao, "Yes, it's up to my promoter, just to name a few. If that's not enough, you could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All 3 apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.